Fujifilm has been dominating the APS-C camera market with its high-end APS-C camera lineup. There are many high-end and expensive APS-C cameras in the Fujifilm X series, and there are also many affordable ones that perform adequately well considering their price point. The Fujifilm X-E4 is one of those value-for-money cameras that almost every beginner would want to have in their bags. It is compact, sleek, easy to travel with, yet it has high-end image and video taking ability, plus impressive autofocus. However, there are also many downsides that users should know before making a buying decision. And in this video, we'll cover all the significant features and downsides of the Fujifilm X-E4. So with that being said, let's get started. The Fujifilm X-E4 features a 26.1 megapixel APS-C X-Trans BSI CMOS 4 sensor, which is capable of shooting sharp images and videos with natural colors. In addition, the BSI construction of the sensor allows for better low-light performance. On top of that, there's no optical low-pass filter, so you'll get sharper images right out of the camera. Moreover, the color filter array and X-Trans technology work together to provide more sharpness and dynamic range, while minimizing moire and aliasing effects. Apart from that, the camera also includes X-Processor 4 for blazing fast performance. The X-E4 lets you shoot 8 full-width images per second with its mechanical shutter with this high-speed processor. You can also shoot 20 frames per second with the electronic shutter. And if you need more speed, you can also opt for 30 frames per second with a 1.25 times crop. The camera's 26 megapixel sensor offers to capture high-end images. 26 megapixel is good enough for taking portrait and street photography. You can also use it for landscape photography, unless you're into crazy high resolution. The base ISO is 160, better than its predecessor X-E3, in which the base was 200. But a base ISO around 100 would be much more consistent with other features of this camera. When shooting at base ISO, the camera is capable of capturing sharp images. The ISO can go up to 12,800. Higher ISO and BSI technology lets you shoot impressive pictures in low-light situations. Additionally, you can crank up the shutter speed to as fast as 1/32,000th of a second for shooting wildlife or sports. Furthermore, the ability to shoot in RAW gives you enough freedom in post-production to manipulate exposure and other settings without losing much quality. The Fujifilm X-E4 can shoot UHD and DCI 4K videos at 30 frames per second. However, you're limited by a 30-minute ceiling during continuous recording. For slow-motion videos, the X-E4 can record Full HD videos at a whopping 240 frames per second, which will allow you to slow down your videos up to 10 times. On top of that, the fast-performing processor also significantly reduces the rolling shutter effect, and in most cases you might not see any distortion while shooting moving objects. Now if you think about the quality of videos that this camera can provide, well, the videos are oversampled from 6K. So you're going to get more detailed and sharper looking footage out of this camera. Additionally, it's good enough for most of the users out there. Yet you can crank up the color specs up to 10-bit 422 if you use an external recorder. Another striking feature is that this camera can shoot in F-Log, which is excellent if you're into filmmaking and want to tweak for vivid colors in post-production. For accurate and fast autofocus, this camera comes with a hybrid autofocus system that includes 425-point phase detection autofocus and contrast detection areas. The autofocus is efficient enough to detect your subject in as low light as -7 exposure level. Then there's a 3-inch 1.2 million dot tilting LCD touchscreen. However, many vloggers and content creators might want a fully articulating screen that lacks in the X-E4. It also comes with a 2.36 dot OLED electronic viewfinder with 0.62 times magnification, which performs adequately well. However, there's no stabilization in this camera, so you might have to be a little more careful while shooting handheld. The Fujifilm X-E4 uses the standard NP W126S battery, which lets you take around 460 shots on a single charge. Alternatively, you can also shoot about 60 minutes of 4K or 75 minutes of 1080p videos per charge. Besides, this camera incorporates a single-slot SD card, which supports only UHS 1 memory cards. And this is pretty much limiting when you're shooting 4K videos or burst shooting 20 frames per second. so Fujifilm at least could include UHS 2 compatible memory slot in this camera. So that was all about the Fujifilm X-E4. Overall, it's an affordable APS-C camera with high-end video and image capturing ability. Despite some downsides, such a lack of stabilization and low memory option, this is one of the best value for money APS-C cameras for beginners currently available in the market. So what are your thoughts about the Fujifilm X-E4? Let us know in the comment section.